After Coke, after Pepsi, and well after Poland Spring, there was Vin Fizz, the sparkling grape drink. That was their motto. Although they would also accept the ideal grape drink. In 1911, newspaper mogul William Randolph Hearst announced that he'd put up $50,000 to the first person who flew across the United States in under 40 days. Cal Rogers said he'd give it a shot. Armour Meatpacking, who made VinFizz, sponsored him. Translation, they would pay the bills. Hire the mechanics, supply all the VinFizz they could drink, or all of it they could stand. In return, Cool Cal plastered the VinFizz logo all over his new Wright Model EX. Rogers took off from Sheepshead Bay, New York, on September 17th, 1911, following the Iron Compass West. His first landing ended with a crash. Over the next 49 days, he landed an additional 68 times, crashed 15 more times. Rogers finished in Pasadena, California, on November 5th with a broken ankle. The airplane fared worse. Of the original, only 2 wing struts and the rudder were left. And since it was 9 days past the official deadline, Hearst didn't give him squat. Not to worry, really. VinFizz paid $5 a mile. Total distance, 4,321 miles. So that came out to $21,605 in 1911, which is $675,000 today. You decide if that's enough. The early show pilots seldom lived long enough to spend their prize money anyway. On April 3rd, 1912, Cal Rogers was flying just off Long Beach when he slammed into a seagull. Rogers died beneath the wreckage with a broken neck. This was the first bird strike fatal to the human. Orville Wright suffered the first bird strike in 1905, which was fatal to the bird. Bird strikes have grown commonplace. More than 13,000 happen every year. Birds fly low and slow, and they love the open fields that surround airports. Today's airliners need to survive the strike from a fourth-pound bird corpse and safely return to the airport, land, and go on to fly another day. The device they use to test the airliner is called a chicken cannon. No living chickens are harmed in the process. To chase away flocks of winged delinquents loitering in the open fields, maintenance workers set off exploding boom clackers and web smackers and super snickermeisters. Maybe even soak the field with barrels of VinFizz. And despite all that, we're still no closer to discovering the aeronautical antibiotic for bird strikes than Cal Rogers. On January 15, 2009, Flight 1549 took off from New York's LaGuardia Airport and was climbing through 2,800 feet when the airliner slammed into a flock of Canadian geese, which killed both engines and, frankly, quite a few geese. To the sounds of silence, Captain Sully Sullenberger and First Officer Jeff Skiles had enough time to turn south, tell the passengers to brace for impact, and slide the airliner into the icy Hudson. The flight attendant said it felt like a hard landing. The passengers and crew exited the craft in an orderly manner, and while an ad hoc fleet of small vessels shuttled everyone to shore. Captain Sullenberger made sure that everyone was off the airplane. Then he joined them. If this chapter has any moral at all, it's this. As long as there are birds, they're going to get hit by airplanes.